as well, right? Oh, wrong one. Record. Okay. All right, we're recording. It looks like my video's freezing up every once in a while.
Recording started.
So hopefully it's not doing that on your end. First thing I want to do real quick is I'm going to share my screen. All right, if you can see my screen, will you give me a green check mark real quick? I want to make sure you guys are out there and know what I'm going over. Any green check marks? Or am I just lagging like crazy here? Somebody has to hear me out there. Can you guys see my screen? Can you hear me? Oh, I got one person that says they can. Alright. Anybody else out there? Can you see my screen? Or is it loading and being slow? It's all that rain that I'm having today here. Alright, cool. Alright, a couple of you see it. Anyways, if not, you can watch the recording later. Kind of see it there. Okay, I just want to look at the calendar real quick. So today, lesson 14 quizzes due. And then you have lesson 15 quiz on Friday. That's what we're going over in this class right now. So basically, you're all done if you kept pace. If you didn't keep pace, okay, you still have, I have built in like a week and a half, almost 2 weeks. Actually, there's 2 weeks here. That's 1 week, 2 week. 2 weeks, a little more than 2 weeks to get all caught back up, okay? So you're not out in the dark if you're behind, okay? So you can go back, you can look at this calendar if you want. I post that to the announcement board of the things you may have missed. But then I'm really looking forward to this. Is anybody else looking forward to spring break? I am. Starts on the 25th, goes to the 29th. So we're going to be good to go. Yeah. I could use some spring break and sunshine. Alright, very good. Okay, let's start rolling. Okay, last class, we're going to be going over Western Europe right now. Okay, last live class we talked about Western Europe, kind of went that tour through all those ancient cities. Today we're going to talk about the human impact on the environment in Europe, as well as economic systems. So that means like different forms of government, that kind of stuff, okay? So let's roll. So we're going to talk about acid rain, glaciers, different pollutants, and then genetically modified food, which is kind of an interesting subject there, okay? So let's first off hit off a poll question real quick. I got to change my little poll tools up here, so give me 2 seconds here as I do that. All right, it says here, humans attribute to which fraction of acid rain, okay? So it's rain that actually like is like liquid form and comes down and actually like eats away at stuff of bricks and everything like that. Would it be 1/3, 1/2, 2/4, or 2/3? What are your thoughts? Okay, so put it in the chat there. What humans attribute to which fraction of acid rain? You're probably not going to know this, so this is just kind of guessing right now. But you'll want this for the exit ticket. So, and I don't know if my little participant thing's working that well, because it's like flashing and doing all these weird things. So if you need to put it in the chat, you can put it in the chat too. That's a little bit easier. Okay, good. We got one answer. There's a bunch of guys out there. You use the poll up there. Just guess. It's if you're, yeah, there we go. All right, we have it all over the board. We got a couple A's, a couple B's, a couple C's, a couple D's. Okay, and the correct answer is, and sorry about my thing over there. It's kind of, the correct answer is D. So 2/3. Okay, and that's the one that the least amount of people actually did. So 2/3. So that's almost all of it attribute to acid rain. Okay, So let's talk a little bit about acid rain real quick, okay? So there's two main sources. One is man-made, so it's like pollutants that we put up in the air, and then they go over and they put in the sky, and they have to come down somehow, right? And so they come down with rain. And as you can see this picture right here to the left, I'm putting my arrow on, like more like sandstone brick, that kind of stuff. The acid rain gets in there and just eats away at it, right? It's like what happens when you put Coca-Cola on like cement. It'll actually eat away at it. So you Coca-Cola drinkers like myself, I don't want to really see the inside of my stomach. I'm pretty sure it's probably pretty nasty. All the Coke's been eating away at it. But it also does this to the trees over here. If you kind of see the trees, it kind of eats those. The second form of natural rain is caused by things like volcano emissions, lightning, microbiological processes. So all of those things kind of attribute to there, but those are naturally made. But 2/3 of it is man-made. So emissions that come out of your car, all that kind of stuff. Okay, let's do another poll question real quick. What percentage of excuse me, what percentage of the Earth's land is covered by glaciers? Okay, is it A, 50%, B, 25%, C, 10, or D, 15? All right, yeah, thanks for answering, guys. Even if you don't know it, it's all good. We'll at least get your best educated guess. And you want to make sure you remember these too, because the exit ticket may come in handy there. Okay. All right, give you a little bit more to answer at 5, 4, 3, 2. All right, the correct answer is C, 10%. All right, so a lot of you guys got it. That 10% there, fantastic. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about glaciers and stuff. So as we're talking about glaciers and we're talking about Europe, the biggest glaciers that are found there are found in the Alps. And you can kind of see some pictures there of the Alps. And it says 10% of glaciers, the Earth's land is covered by that. During the Ice Age, actually 32% of the land was covered by glaciers. That includes Utah. Okay, there was a lake here. Can you remember? We've talked about this before. What was the lake called in Utah that covered most of the state? And it was actually a frozen lake most of the time. Anybody remember what it's called? You can actually find in the mountains seashells from it. That's why you have seashells up there if you ever go hiking in that area. No thoughts? It starts with a B. B. All right, I'll tell you. Okay, Bonneville. Okay, Lake Bonneville. Okay, and so glaciers store about 75% of our fresh water. Arctic ice is more than 2.6 miles thick. Okay, so you go to places like Antarctica, those places, it's super, super thick. If all the ice melted, it would raise the earth, or raise the oceans 230 feet. Okay, which would actually take over a lot of the cities, like in California. California would just be covered by that. So that's why they're worried about the so-called global warming, okay, aspect of things. Okay, let's talk about something that's fairly interesting. We talked before about population, right? Remember that political cartoon where you had the train that was going up and it said the world's food source? Well, one of the ways they have been able to grow their food sources, they have genetically modified food. For example, they have what's called kills all feed, okay, like corn. So what they're basically immune to kills all. Has anybody used kills all before? usually people put in their driveways to kill weeds, but it kills everything around, right? Well, you could spray this kills all on this plant and it won't die because they've genetically modified it. And so some of the reasons that it's good is that it gives us more food, more nutritious. Disease and drought, the plants are resistant to it. It can grow faster. Corn today and corn like 20 years ago are completely different, okay? They decrease pesticides. They increase the food supply and shelf life. But some things that we're finding is when we genetically modified food, we're seeing higher instances of health problems like celiac disease. Does anybody know what celiac is? Anybody have heard of that before? Or a gluten intolerance? Some people are thinking, maybe. Anyways, what that basically means, okay, is that people can't eat some of these genetically modified foods and it's making them sick. And so anything that has this genetically modified foods in it, they're getting sick by. Well, everything has genetically modified food these days, okay? Corn syrup is in everything, okay? And one thing is they're thinking it might be one of the causes to obesity that we see, right? Is because we're genetically modifying these foods. So some issue that you, it may affect you someday, especially if you have some of these intolerances, dairy intolerance, that kind of stuff. Okay, let's move to our last section, okay? And if you can believe that, it's our last section. You'll take the quiz, and if you're on pace, you'll be done with this class, okay? So we're going to talk about different governments. We're going to talk about different economic systems, global and financial conditions, all that kind of good stuff, okay? All right. Okay, so I'm going to run through this because some people find this really boring. I actually find it really interesting, but there's things that happen to make a good government, okay? And that's why everybody, as we talked about immigration in the past units, why everybody wants to move to the United States is because it has a lot of these good things to make a good government. Has a legal and social framework, so laws. People are obeying the laws, and they're worried about the punishment if they do the laws, right? So that helps there. And so people won't go out and steal things. You can be safe. You don't have to worry about getting beat up all the time, okay, for your money. Maintain of competitions, okay? So you have different businesses that are going out and they're making things lower for people because they want to get to your business, okay? And that is something that is big. There's not one person that runs the entire thing, okay? Provide public goods and services like education, road, defense, all those kind of things. Being able to go to the bank and not worry that your money's not going to be there. Okay, a little bit of redistribution of income. So taking your income and helping out those others that may need it. Correcting externalities. So basically, having taxes in order to help all, okay? So such as education, okay? If we don't have people out there that know how to count money back to you, you can't have a member of society do that. And then they become a burden on society, and they're taking part of this redistribution of income, okay? And then the last one is like a stabilizing economy, which basically means that we're able to continue running government, okay? And people are able to make money, and people have excess money, and then they can spend it, and we have this fluid government thing. So when we're looking at that, that's what we want moving forward. So different economies that have happened in the past. One's a traditional economy. So for example, let's say I have chickens, in my backyard, okay? I have a dozen eggs, okay? And let's say you need some eggs. You need food. Well, does anybody babysit out there? Do we got any babysitters? Maybe somebody will come and babysit my 3 kids, and I will give them a dozen eggs, right? It's trade and barter back and forth, okay? And that happens a little bit. Do you want to come babysit my kids? They're crazy. They're crazy. I have 2 boys that are like 3 and 18 months, and they destroy the house. My daughter's really good. She's like almost 7, and she's a really good girl. But my boys are crazy. But it'd be interesting. Okay, the next one's called the command economy. So it's basically the government controls everything. This is what happened in communism, okay? And that's why communism failed, is people didn't care to work because what does it matter? You're going to get the same income and benefit from the government. So why should I work harder? Why should I think and be ingenuity and that kind of stuff, okay? So basically a doctor and a garbage man make the same thing, okay? All right, the last one's a market economy, where it's individuals and private entities basically fight over who gets your money in a way, because they want to develop the greatest product, right? So for example, if you had an opportunity to get Little Caesars or Domino's pizza, what would you guys get? Why don't you put it in the chat real quick? Do you want Little Caesars or Domino's? Okay, we got Little Caesars. Okay, now I want you to justify a little bit why you want Little Sisters. Okay, somebody says Domino's, Domino's. Okay, why Domino's over Little Caesars? Okay, do you like pizza? If you don't like pizza, tell me what. Okay, so somebody says you want a better pizza. All right, very good. But, so somebody says Little Caesars breadsticks are gold. Yeah, I like their breadsticks too. But here's the thing. So Domino's costs more than Little Caesars, right? For the most part. Okay, you may be able to get a pizza here or there that's different. Or that really, really good pizza shop down the street. There's one in Ogden called Ogden Pizzeria that I think is really good. But I have to pay more for it. Okay? So it just kind of depends on where what you want. Little Caesars has to sell more pizzas to make the same amount of money as Domino's does with theirs. So you think about, do I want quality? Do I want quantity? Right? Some of the people are saying for Little Caesars. So you get the choice. As the consumer, you get to be the one, or the one buying it. What I mean by the consumer, you get to be the one that gets to decide. Okay? Yeah, and it may decide really, right, of what you're going for right then. But the cool thing is you get to decide, right? The government doesn't get to decide. The government says there's one pizza shop and it's Ligori's, and that's all you get, right? And it's the same price, and if you don't like it, you don't get to choose, right? So you get the choice with a market economy, right? Okay, so type in the chat real quick, which economic system do you feel is the best? Would it be a traditional, command, or market economy? Which one would you rather have? I think this is pretty simple, but some people want to go back to trade and barter, right? I got a truck. That. Okay, so basically a choice, right? You put maybe market economy is the one you'd get a choice. Communism, or the command economy, Oh, well, everyone have, yeah. So that would be a market economy where we get to do that. Perfect. Good, right? So we're just lucky that we get to choose like what we want, right? We talked about video games before we came on and recorded, right? We get to choose, do I want to do Xbox, right? A Microsoft thing? Do I want to do PlayStation? Or am I a PC guy? Or I'm a Nintendo Switch kind of guy, right? You get to choose what you want, right? So you could tell me which one you want. I mean, you got all of that stuff there. So tell me what you want in there, because that leads us to the very end there. I'm going to throw your, whatever it's called, exit ticket in the chat real quick. But more than happy to stay after for a little bit, help you out. I'm going to unlock the slides for you. Somebody said they're all fun, all the different ones. I know I debated whether to get things, but I went with an Xbox, honestly. I don't know why. I think maybe just because my brother had it and I bought it off him, probably. Got a cheaper price there. All right, guys. Thank you for this last block. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, please contact me. I'm here to help. You have until, remember how I told you at the beginning of class, until the 21st of March to put get all your stuff in. I'll be zeroing out your grades on Monday. That's the 11th, and then you need to have your grades up to a point where you can get it. Okay. Appreciate all y'all. I'll stay after for a while. Help anybody out. Okay. I'm gonna stop recording though.
Record.